Level 1 Monk character creation up now on Dungeons and Taverns. Welcome to Dungeons and Taverns. I'm your host, Saul Sunforge. Today's video is level 1 character creation on our So You Wanna Be series. Today we're creating a monk. We have monk, wizard, and ranger left out of all the classes. If you want one of the other classes, we already have those videos covered. You could go look at those videos. And in the comment section for each one of those videos, I have the character we created during the video pinned in the comment section, free to download for you. And those links should still be good no matter how old those videos are. I still have all the stuff there. Hasn't changed any of the credentials, so those all should be available and still working for you. If they're not, leave it down in the comment section of any of my videos and I'll go investigate any of the problems that may arise. If you're new here and you like map making, character creation, rules explanations, homebrewed material, we have our own campaign, the Dirty 20, on here, as well as PC games related to role-playing adventure games and just me playing PC games in between my editing. If you like and appreciate all that content, then go ahead and leave me one of these, drop a comment down in the comment section, and most importantly, give me a follow so this way I can help get to my next goals and maybe turn this into something of a career. That would be amazing. And now with all that said, let's get to the video. So I want Kedwin to be a level 1 Gith monk, and I want him to be a Gith Zerai. And you can find the stats for making a Gith on page 96 of Mordecai's Tome of Foes. Alright, so we see here the Gith traits. Our intelligence score increases by 1. And since we're a Gith Zerai, our wisdom is increased by 2. So let's go ahead and add the 1 and the 2 to our character sheets before we start rolling the stats. Alright, so then Gith reach adulthood in their late teens and live for about a century. So we're going to make our Gith, he's going to be 30. And then he's going to be 6 feet tall, since that's their base. And then their base speed is 30. And of course you could get feats and things to increase that as you wish. You can speak, read, and write Gith in common. So you go down here and write those in their proficiencies and languages. Gith common. In your campaign, your DM may let you learn new languages as a quest or a downtime activity. Gith Zerai tend towards lawful neutral, so that's what we're going to put for our alignment. L/N. We'll pick the background here after we roll our stats and things like that. Obviously, the player name would be your name. And then the experience points, if you start out at level 1, would be at 1 experience point. And of course, if your campaign starts out at a different level, then just stat it out accordingly. Prorate it to the new level. Because really, the only thing that's going to change is your hit points and your saving your proficiency bonus may go up depending on what level you start out at. Gith Zerai have an advantage against being charmed or frightened due to the tutelage of monastic masters. So that fits in perfect with the monk class. You know the mage hand cantrip, and the hand is invisible when you cast the cantrip with this trait. When you reach 3rd level, you can cast the shield spell once with this trait, and you regain the ability to do so when you finish a long rest. When you reach 5th level, you can cast the Detect Thoughts spell once with this trait, and you regain the ability to do that when you finish a long rest. Wisdom is your spellcasting ability for these spells. When you cast them with this trait, they do not require components. That's important to remember. If you use components in your campaign, that's up to your DM. You ask them. Now, it's important to remember that the Gith are one race, the Gith Yankee and the Gith Zerai. Now, they were both prisoners to the Mind Flayers or the Illithids. And then, when they gained freedom from their captors, they had a difference of opinion on how to deal with their civilization going forward. With the Githyanki being the more volatile or the hostile ones, Githyanki are trained at birth to be brutal warriors, where the Githzerai are more contemplative, they're more at peace, they're more pacifists. They live in limbo in fortresses. And so you want to play up this pacifist, way of thinking, the Enlightenment type of thinking. Whenever there's a problem to solve, you probably don't want to try to solve it with violence first. So you're probably going to be more of the peaceful negotiator. But when things do come to violence, though, you do act swiftly. Because really the way back to a peaceful nature is the abrupt end of violence. And so that can be thought of as a pacifist type move. So they're more contemplative, they're less quick to anger, and they're monks with psionic abilities. So this character is going to be pretty sweet, I think, if you are interested in monks. Alright, so let's roll up our stats now. We're going to roll 46, drop the lowest, re-roll anything that's 7 or lower. Re-roll anything that's lower than 7. So 7 isn't a re-roll, but 6 would be. Alright. So our first number is a 12. Alright, our second number. Ooh, that's a nice one. That's 16. Alright. Our third roll. That's a 12. Roll number 4. Oh, that's a re-roll, because that would be a 5. So let's re-roll that. And that 5 becomes an 11. Much better. Alright, so far we got 16, 14, 12, 12, 11. So we have one more roll, and we need a good number. Excuse me. Alright, and so we got a 12. Alright, so in order, our numbers are 16, 14, 12, 12, 12, 11. And those are before we apply our bonuses. And so those are, those are solid numbers. Those are solid numbers. We're definitely not overpowered in anything really, but you're not weak in anything either. So that's important. All right, and then this is important to note here, and this is on page 77 of the Player's Handbook. And this is the monk table here. And you see at first level, your proficiency bonus is +2. Every character at first level's proficiency bonus is +2. You see here it says martial arts, 1d4. Remember that, we'll get to it. And then your key points, we'll get to that briefly. But that level 1, you don't have to worry about that. But you'll have to worry about that in the future. So we'll just touch on that here in a moment. But for your features, you get unarmed defense and your martial arts. So our martial arts is 1d4. So let's go look and find martial arts here real quick. Martial arts. At first level, your practice of martial arts gives you mastery of combat styles that use unarmed strikes and monk weapons, which are short swords and any simple melee weapons that don't have the two-handed or heavy property. And each weapon on the weapon table has their properties listed next to them if they do have properties. You gain the following benefits while you are unarmed or wielding only monk weapons and you aren't wearing armor or wielding a shield. You can use your dexterity instead of strength for your attack and damage rolls of your unarmed strikes and monk weapons. You can roll a d4 in place of the normal damage of your unarmed strike or monk weapon. This die changes as you gain monk levels, as shown in the martial arts column of the monk table. When you use the attack action with an unarmed strike or a monk weapon on your turn, you can make one unarmed strike as a bonus action. For example, if you take the attack action and attack with a quarterstaff, you can make an unarmed strike as a bonus action, assuming that you haven't already taken a bonus action on this turn. Alright, and then here is key. Starting at second level, so that's why you don't have to worry about it on first level, but still we got to touch on it, so this way you can make informed decisions about what type of monk you're wishing to be here. We'll cover that in a moment later on in this video. But key, starting at second level, your training allows you to harness the mystic energy of ki. Your access to this energy is represented by a number of key points. Your monk level determines the number of points you have, as shown in the key points column of the monk table. You can spend these points to fuel various key features. You start knowing 3 such features: flurry of blows, patient defense, and step of the wind. You learn more key features as you gain levels in this class. When you spend a key point, it's unavailable until you finish a short or long rest, at the end of which you draw all your expended key back into yourself. You must spend at least 30 minutes of the rest meditating to regain your key points. Some of your key features require your target to make a saving throw to resist the feature's effects. The saving throw DC is calculated as follows. So that the save DC for your key is 8 plus your proficiency modifier plus your wisdom modifier. So your proficiency modifier at level 1 is a 2, so 8 plus 2 is a 10, and then your wisdom modifier, we're going to go ahead and say it's going to be a 3 or so. So it's probably about 13 or 14 is my guess, is what it's going to be. We'll find out here. You'll be able to find out later on in the video yourself if you keep track. My weapon of choice for Kedwin is going to be a Kama. A Kama is like a sickle, just with a shorter and straighter blade. I think those are going to look sick with the style that I'm going to want, but you can choose the style you want, and we're going to cover the styles right now. The Monastic Traditions, page 79 of the Player's Handbook, Way of the Open Hand. You learn techniques to push and trip your foes in armored or unarmored martial arts combat. Page 80 is the Way of the Shadow. It's like a ninja, a spy, or assassin would call the Way of the Shadow home. It's for monks who value stealth and subterfuge. And also on page 80, Way of the Four Elements. You harness the power of a single element or the elements to act in one with your body. Members of this tradition usually have tattoos that signify or enhance their powers. Page 33 of Xanthar's Guide to Everything, The Way of the Drunken Master. Moving away, which makes you look drunk, but is a careful, fluid dance of parries, blocks, and attacks. Look up the movie Drunken Master with Jackie Chan in it, and you'll see exactly the stereotype of a drunken master. It's actually pretty sweet. Then page 34, Way of the Kensai. You're one with your weapon you trained from as birth. It's an extension of your body. Using Kensai weapons add to your defense, or you can make ranged attacks as bonus actions. And then every so many levels, you get to add another weapon and make it as your Kensai weapon. And then page 35, The Way of the Sun Soul. You harness life energy and then you transfer it into searing bolts of light. And then finally on page 49, Natasha's Cauldron of Everything, we have The Way of Mercy. Wandering physicians who can manipulate life force to bring aid and a swift end to those who are beyond help as an act of mercy. And then page 50 is The Way of the Astral Self. Monks of this tradition believe their body is an illusion, and their key is a representation of their true form. That they can be protectors of the weak, or sowers of discord. This tradition covers many different styles of play from many different varieties of players. So there's quite a few sweet ones to choose from. Alright, here we go. Finally, we're going to fill out the stats. Now, I'm going to be a Way of the Open Hand monk, and so I am going to prioritize my wisdom over my dexterity like most monks would. So let's go ahead and fill out the stats now. Let's see here. We're going to put the 16 here in wisdom, so that'll be an 18. So then we go over here. Get rid of the 16. Alright, so then the next one will be Dex. So we'll put 14 in Dex there. We'll get rid of the 14. And then we'll put $12 in the Strength, 12 in the Constitution, 12 into Charisma, and then the 11 into Intelligence plus 1 is 12. So there we go. There's all of our stats. Alright, I put my initial stats that I rolled back up here so this way you would have them. If you don't like my stats, you can undo everything that I did so far in the video just by watching it at the beginning and reverse it. Alright, so let's figure out the bonuses here. So what you do is you take the numbers and you round it down to an even number, and you divide it in half and then subtract 5, and that's how you get your bonus. So 12 halved is 6 minus 5, it's a 1. 14 halved is 7 minus 5 is 2. 12 halved is 6 minus 5 is 1. 12 halved is 6 minus 5 is 1. 18 halved is 9 minus 5 is 4. 12 halved is 6 minus 5 is 1. And there is our bonuses. Alright, so our hit dice is a D8. First level, get your max, so 8 plus your constitution modifier. And then at every other level, you get to roll a D8 and add your con. Or you could take the average of the D8, which is a 5, and add your con. Let your DM know that if you want to take the average. If you're not really great at rolling, I suggest doing it. So our constitution here is a 1, you see. So we take 8 plus 1. So that means our current hit points is 9, and our max is 9 when we start the game. For our saving throws, we're proficient in strength and dexterity. So let's mark those down. At level 1, we have unarmored defense, so that we, if we're not using a shield and we're not wearing any armor, our AC as a monk equals 10 plus our dex and our wisdom modifiers. So our wisdom modifier is a 4, our dex modifier is a 2 plus the 10. So our AC is a 16. Pretty good. In 5th edition, your initiative is just your dex. Dex modifier is a 2. So there we go. Just carry over the 2. And then for skills, we get to choose two from acrobatics, athletics, history, insight, religion, and stealth. And so for my gift, I think I'm going to go with history and history and athletics. History and acrobatics. History and acrobatics. Alright, so the first choice is a short sword or a sickle, so we're going to go with a sickle. You could go with a short sword because it does more damage if that's the way you want to play. The sickle does 1d4 and it's a light weapon, so that means you can wield 2 of them. If you end up getting one for your offhand, so you can use that for your bonus action. There we go. Alright, and then because of our level 1, we can feature for martial arts, we can use our dex instead of our strength. So it'll be 1d4 plus 2. And then we're proficient in it, so we use our dex plus a proficiency bonus. So our sickle is at a plus 4 for our attack bonus. Next, we choose a Dungeoneer's pack or an Explorer's pack, so let's take you over to those. Alright, so page 151 of the Player's Handbook here has the packs. And our choices are the Dungeoneer's or the Explorer's pack. So the Dungeoneer's pack it's a backpack, a crowbar, a hammer, 10 pitons, 10 torches, a tinderbox, 10 days of rations, and a water skin. It also has 50 feet of rope strapped to the side of it. And then the Explorers is a backpack, a bedroll, a mess kit, tinderbox, 10 days rations, 10 torches, the water skin, and 50 feet of rope. Alright, so we'll take the Dungeoneer's pack. We're going to go ahead and write down each individual item in the pack into our inventory. Alright, and then the last thing you get is 10 darts. So I'm just going to put that here for my secondary attack here, darts, and then put the 10 over here. And so each time I use a dart, obviously, and don't pick it back up after the fight or whatever, it gets lost or whatever happens to it, you take 1 off of that 10. And for darts, you would use your dexterity as your bonus. You're obviously proficient, so that would be a plus 4 as well. Alright, so we see here the darts cost 5 copper. They do 1d4 damage. They're only a quarter a pound a piece. They're finesse weapons, and they're thrown, and here's the range, 20 to 60. So let's go ahead and put the 1d4 and then the range of 20 to 60. Page 125 in the player's handbook is where you can find the backgrounds. And the backgrounds give your characters a little bit of flavor. You could go a little bit nuanced, different directions with it. But the backgrounds give your character different benefits and, different skills that you're able to be proficient in. And so they're important to pick. All right, so the background I'm going to pick for Kedwin is the Sage, which you can find on page 137 of the player's handbook. Now, I'm going to leave the specialty up to you. Of course, you can change whatever you want. I'm probably going to make mine a librarian or a scribe, one of those two. But it's up to you. It's just for flavor. Your DM may use it, which is cool. Depending on how much you flesh out your story, is how much your DM can use, depending on how many players, you know the drill. But here's what you get for being a sage. You get Arcana and History, which we already have History, right? So we're going to change the History to something else. And then we get 2 additional languages, and then we get more equipment and 10 gold. So let's go ahead and add that to our chart now. So we're going to change that double History. We're going to either make it we can either make it Stealth or Insight. I'm thinking we should make it Stealth because our Insight's already gonna be pretty good too. Anyway, so there we go. There's 3. So let's see, History, Acrobatics. What was the other one? Arcana, right? Yeah, Arcana. Alright, just making sure. I don't want to end up giving myself too many. There we go. So Acrobatics, Arcana, History, and Stealth. Okay? And so those are our proficiencies. We're not going to get any more. We're gonna go ahead and figure those out here. All these numbers over here. Then we're going to fill this out, and then that's it. The equipment. Let's fill out the equipment real quick. Alright, so don't forget that you get to add 2 more languages due to background. Okay? I'm going to put that on there for you. Since we're a sage, you get to choose 2 languages. Since you already know Gith and Common, I would suggest, there's Elven, Dwarven, Celestial, Sylvan. There's quite a few different languages out there for you to choose. Maybe you want to ask your DM some types of questions about the campaign, like what's the world, what primary population are you dealing with? That might govern some of your choices that you make for your character selection. If you don't ask those questions and then it comes up later on, you're like, oh, no, this character isn't really made for this campaign. Since you didn't ask the questions, then you don't have anybody to blame but yourself. So make sure you ask questions. All right, so let's go ahead and finish up the background then. For our personality trait, we have I'm driven by a wanderlust that led me away from home. Maybe. Watch over my friends as if they're a litter of newborn pups. Probably not. I once ran 25 miles without stopping to warn my clan of an approaching orc horde. I'd do it again if I had to. Yeah, it's a pretty good one. I have a lesson for every situation drawn from observing nature. Yes, but be prepared to roleplay the heck out of that. So if you're not comfortable roleplaying that, then don't pick it. I'm always picking things up, absolutely fiddling with them, and sometimes accidentally breaking them. That's also another potentially heavy roleplay aspect. See, I feel far more comfortable around animals than people. I was, in fact, raised by wolves. I'd say probably number 7. More comfortable around animals than people. Alright, so let's take a look at the ideals. Change. Life is like the seasons. constant change, and we must change with it. Greater good. It is each person's responsibility to make the most happiness for the whole tribe. If I dishonor myself, I dishonor my whole clan. The strongest are meant to rule. The natural world is more important than all the constructs of civilization. I must earn glory in battle for myself and my clan. If I dishonor myself, I dishonor my whole clan. How about that? Alright, then we go to the bond tab. So, my family, clan, or tribe is the most important thing in my life, even when they're far from me. An injury to the unspoiled wilderness of my home is an injury to me. I will bring terrible wrath down to the evildoers who destroyed my homeland. I am the last of my tribe, and it's up to me to ensure their names enter legend. I suffer awful visions of a coming disaster. Will do anything to prevent it. It's my duty to provide children to sustain my tribe. While tribe in this case could mean your monastery or your people, the Githzerai. So that's those. I can see quite a few of those being amazing. So you feel free to change any of these up. I can see I'm the last of my tribe, and it's up to me to ensure their names enter legend. The Githzerai, you were part of a monastery of Githzerai, and you got wiped. The monastery just got wiped out. That gives the DM an infinite amount of things to work with. Please go with that. Please do that. If you use this, let me know in the comments section. I want to hear your guys' stories. Every single one of them. I love stories. Alright, so let's do the saving throws. First up is strength. We have a +1 in strength. We have a 2 in proficiency, so 2 and 1 is a 3. Dex, we have a 2, we're proficient, so 2 and 2 is 4. Our con is a 1. Our intelligence is a 1. Our wisdom is a 4. And our charisma is a 1. Alright, and then we go down to our skills here. For strength, we see athletics, so we put down the 1. And then there's nothing else that uses strength in 5th edition. Then we go down to dex. So anything that says DEX, we put the 2, unless we're proficient, like acrobatics. So we add our proficiency bonus to the 2. So 2 and 2 is a 4. And then we go down. We see sleight of hand, so 2. And then stealth, we're proficient, so that's a 4. Constitution, there isn't any constitution checks in 5th edition. Drinking and endurance checks, I still use constitution. Alright, and then next we have our intelligence, so that's a 1. We're proficient in history, so that's a 3. Investigation, it's a 1. Nature, it's a 1. Religion, that's a 1. And then we go down to wisdom. Our wisdom score is a 4. So insight, medicine, perception, survival. And then charisma is a 1. Intimidation, performance, persuasion, and there you go. We have our skills all filled out. So now whenever you want to do something, you tell the DM what you want to do, and then he'll tell you to roll one of these skills here. And then you add one of these numbers to your D20 roll, your 20-sided dice. And if you beat the DM's number, then something good happens. If you don't, something bad might happen. The worse the number is, the more likely something bad or terrible is going to be a setback. So there you go. Your backstory, your appearance, and all those your traits and things. When you pick which monastic school you want to be in, you add those in yourself. Add those over here. That's what I would suggest. But don't forget to pick your 2 languages, your passive perception, and yeah, you're good to go. So I'm going to add this into the comment section, and you will be able to download it through the pin. All right, so I appreciate you all. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this type of content, go ahead and subscribe. I like to give you guys as much as I can for free. Characters, monsters, legendary creatures, eventually I'll come up with some new spells and things for you guys. I have some projects in the works for much later on that I have, quite a few plates spinning that I think you're going to absolutely love. And so I appreciate you all. You're here at the ground floor. It's not even really a ground floor yet. You're all basically founders in my channel, and I appreciate every single one of you. So thank you so much. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Keep smiling.